It is so wonderful to have this time together. Whether you're going to watch this live or as a replay, my intention is to bring this divine inspiration into your life and to remind you about these incredible personal, spiritual, emotional powers that already exist within you that you can bring out more to have a truly incredible year 2026. So warm welcome. I just began. This is a live stream that will be dedicated to the topic of how to unlock your true destiny, how to prepare for this incredible new vibrations, new year that is just 5 weeks away. And usually every year, I just turned up my volume. Hopefully the volume is good for you. Usually every year, I offer to my community these intuitive predictions. You can find some of the previous ones on my YouTube channel, Katarina Satori. And what I do, I combine archetypal wisdom, numerology, and astrology, as well as my own intuitive guidance. And I offer that synthesis to the people to see what aligns. I also use tarot cards. So when it comes to understanding your life through the archetypal lens, it is such a powerful experience because you can access bigger abilities, bigger capacities, your bigger potential. And this, what I'm about to share with you today, comes to us from ancient wisdom traditions. Hey, Crystal, good to see you. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. I just began. So this, what I will share with you today, comes from a very ancient wisdom traditions, the wisdom tradition of the indigenous people. And they teach that we all are born with genius. Genius is not made. Genius is something that you're born with. And in those traditions, they call it we're all born with our own unique medicine. Something that only we can offer to the world that will heal the world through us. We are born with the sacred calling within our hearts. And that calling begins to call people at different stages of their life, right? So we're born with it. We already come to this world gifted. And in order for us to bring that gift into the world and actually build a life that is a reflection of our all potential, maybe that sacred gift becomes a part of our leadership, part of our business. For that, we need to activate these 4 archetypes. I also see them as 4 pillars within us, or 4 parts or 4 strands of the fabric, right? So if you can picture a fabric made of 4 strands, in order for the fabric to stay together, you need all 4 strands. And when one strand is loose, you don't have the full fabric. So it's the same thing with these archetypes. And once you see that, you're like, oh, which of those pillars is not strong in me, or which pillar I can make stronger. Usually we are more at ease, more kind of like we're not as afraid to channel or to show one of these 4, maybe 2. And the other 2 we shy away from developing. We feel insecure to develop those. And this is where our greatest potential lies. It's in the areas of life that we shy away from developing, or we have a story that it's going to take us a very long time to get good at something, right? I definitely have that. Yeah, there's one skill that when I think about developing it to the point of mastery, it's intimidating. I come up into places of insecurity. I was like, it's gonna take a really long time. So it's totally natural. It's natural. It's natural. So let's cover what are those 4 energies, 4 archetypes that we all need to develop in order to unlock our destiny. So the first one is an archetype of a leader. And this is going to be the theme for the year 2026. It's a year of the horse. It's a year, numerologically, year 1. It's a year of a magician in a tarot card. It's a year of new beginnings. So this is the year where we get to find courage to take a bold initiative towards our dreams. It's not a year to wait. It's not a year to be passive around our dreams. It's a year to be very active, guided by the intuition of our soul, guided by our heart. And it's a very active year. It's a year of the horse. When you think about the horse as a spirit guide, the horse to me represents beauty, of course, and grace, and this incredible sense of freedom, but also stamina, right? Horse is strong. If horse is healthy, horse can go and run for a long distance. So we can start attuning to this spirit animal that we have. The Chinese horoscope is the year of the fire horse. So fire is very dynamic. It's not passive. It's all about creativity. It's all about passion. It's all about courage. And the horse is, what are we creating that will help us unlock greater levels of freedom, greater levels of stamina, greater levels of resilience, greater levels of joy, greater levels of intuition, right? So I'm going to cover these 4 archetypes in the next 4 days, but the first one today is an archetype of a leader. And every archetype we can express at the shadow expression or at a full light expression. So how can we express the archetype of a leader from the shadow expression? Well, what comes to mind is we don't express our leadership potential. We hide away from our leadership potential. We say, no, leadership is for others. I am not born to lead. But here's the thing, if we truly here to unlock our destiny, leadership is the path. And true leadership starts with leading ourselves, leading our vision, leading our business. So every morning when I wake up and I start preparing to lead my business every day, right? 5 days a week. I usually don't work on the weekends. But let's say this morning I woke up and I say, I activate my leader archetype. So how does my leader archetype shows up? How does my leader archetype speaks? How does my leader archetype leads, listens, creates, right? And a leader is also connected to an archetype of a warrior. And the warrior is somebody, when you think about a warrior as an archetype, not as a warrior as a fighter. A warrior as an archetype is here to serve a higher ideal. A warrior is a discipline archetype. Warrior has a certain level of self-mastery that they're constantly elevating and raising the bar for their own self-mastery, right? Warrior also is attuned to their environment. It's a very instinctual archetype, is able to move into action swiftly when the moment summons it. So the shadow archetype of a leader is, I would say, beside being hidden and shying away from the leadership, the second shadow is the self-doubt, right? Letting doubt stop your leadership. And this is something that, you become aware first, and you begin to work on that, because the only way, hi Tracy, the only way we can develop our leadership potential is through leading. There is no other way we can develop our leadership potential beside leading. It's the same thing as, for example, you have a passion for baking. You can read all the baking books, you can watch a baking show, you can get yourself an apron that says the best baker in the world. But unless you spend hours and hours in the kitchen actually baking things, baking pies and cookies, you know how I know this? When I was 12 years old, I spontaneously fell in love with baking, and I was obsessed with it for 2 years. I just baked. I would find these recipes, and I would bake cookies and cakes and all kind of things. So the only way you can develop your leadership potential is through leading. There is no way around it. And when you first start leading, you're going to make a lot of mistakes because you really don't know what you're doing, right? And when adults, people when we're grown-up adults, we are very hard on ourselves when we make mistakes. We get really down on ourselves when we think we make the wrong turn or make the wrong decision, right? But you can't learn anything if you're not willing to make mistakes. So I say your mistakes are your gold. When you make a mistake, it's actually your most powerful learning experience. And you got to allow yourself to learn, to extract the gold, and to keep moving forward. But leadership is something you develop through, I would say, 2 very consistent pathways: through leading and then being around other leaders whom you are in resonance, whom you're inspired by. Some of my best leadership experiences were being in the room with other leaders, being around people who I consider incredible embodied leaders and who I want to be in their energy. I want to listen to them. I want to know what they read. I want to know how they meet their challenges. I want to know how they navigate uncertainty. I want to know how they get inspired, what inspires them. So this is the first main archetype, and it's an archetype of a leader. Your inner leader holds the key to unlock your destiny. So the second archetype that I'm going to name and I'm going to cover in depth tomorrow, hopefully, is an archetype of a healer. So it's a leader, healer, teacher, and visionary. Hi everyone, welcome. So the archetype of a healer, so many of my fellow healers in my community, you are born a healer. And you know that if you truly allowed yourself to touch on that gift and to bring it forth, you know it is true. You heal with your presence, you heal with your energy, you heal with your words, right? People get calmer around you and they say, I don't know what happened. I just spent, 30 minutes around you and I feel more clear. I feel more connected to my soul. I feel more inspired. That is healing. That's what your energy does. You are a healer, you're born a healer. But here's the thing, if you want to actually earn a good living from your healing gifts, if you want to turn that into a part of your destiny, you need to develop your teacher, which is the third archetype. And if you want to take those gifts into a really sustainable architecture, business architecture, you need your visionary to be activated. So you see these 4, they're really beautifully connected. They are the 4 strands of the same fabric. When you pull one strand, entire fabric falls apart. And even though we are going to be expressing the archetype 1 leader next year, in the year 2026, all the rest will be required for you to unlock your destiny. Let's talk a little bit about destiny. This is a topic I am currently very passionate about. You know, I study with different elders. I love being around elders, teachers. There is something like I'll pay anything to be next to an elder. I'll enroll in their communities. I'll book sessions with them. I will buy all of their books, because our elders, our luminaries who have done so much to move humanity forward, they're not going to be around. So some of your favorite teachers that you love, we can't just take them for granted. They're not going to be around for forever. You just never know when your favorite teacher decides to leave the planet. So for me, my favorite teachers are elders, and I am in their field all the time. And something about the elder wisdom that is so profound, because they have dedicated so much, and they also have learned the power of humility, right? Wisdom, through many, many decades of life, they have been through hard times, they have been through blessed times, they have been through losses. So I always say, support your teachers, support your elders, people who brought a lot of illumination to the world. So currently I study this topic of destiny and what it really is. And some of my teachers say destiny is not something we need to chase. Destiny is something that is revealed to us when we become still. When we become still and we can reach such a deep level of silence within, right? Because there are two levels of vision. There is a vision that you can come up with your mind, and it's just one level, right? It's great to start there, where you think, well, what kind of life I would like to have. But there is a deeper vision that always wants to emerge through you, and it's a vision that comes from the level of your soul. And it may be very different from what your mind imagines your destiny to be. And I can tell you, I can tell you this in terms of love relationship. I share the story for quite frequently because people love hearing the story of love. I've been single for 10 years in a very glorious relationship with myself. I was happy single. I was very complete. I love living with myself. I love living by myself. And I also came to a realization that we're not meant to live alone. We're not meant to experience our life alone. And after you do all the things you ever wanted to do alone, it's a very natural desire to yearn for union with your beloved. So I was in that process of yearning for union, yearning for the beloved. It was a huge process of letting go and surrendering my mind preferences of what my beloved should look like, who he should be, right? And my higher self made me wait and made me realize all these preferences of the mind that were actually blocking the true manifestation to come to me. So from the place of deep surrender and deep humility, I channeled this love invocation. I still have it in the Google Doc. It came through so raw. You know that moment where your heart just channels truth? And you shook the universe, you practiced magic, you channeled the prayer that entire cosmos have heard. It was one of those moments. And you know what made that prayer powerful? I said, Divine Mother, bring me a beloved who is a true match of my heart. A true match of my heart. Not of my mind, even though, I'm calling it my intellectual equal, but the heart match. So what's so powerful is that prayer was answered. And in divine timing, I met a really, really incredible soul who feels like a home to my heart, like a heart match. So this is an example of a heart vision versus the mind vision. And when you activate your leader archetype at its highest potential, your vision will shift. the vision for your life, the vision for your destiny will be revealed to you, right? Your soul will continue to unveil. It's like this beautiful ongoing revelations. And you thought you're gonna do that, but wait, if you truly allow your soul power to move through you, all of that will become available to you. So then, your destiny becomes to reveal itself to you. You don't chase it. You definitely don't grasp for it, right? It's too exhausting to live that way. Your destiny begins to reveal itself to you through synchronicities, through dreams, through omens and signs, through books and through messengers. It's really, really profound. So a leader archetype, every single one of us has a unique leadership code. It's so boring when we try to fit one leadership box. It doesn't exist, right? We all get to find our own unique leadership path, leadership style. But one thing that I know that is really supportive on this time is to be around other leaders who you resonate with, who you see they lead in integrity, and your soul recognizes them, right? So to lead your vision, to lead your business is a very dynamic energy, right? It's not a passive thing. It's to take initiative. It's to stir your own good fortune, right? You fall in love with taking initiative. You become more and more at ease working with the energy of fire, which is you receive inspiration and you go for it. There is no doubt. There is no what if. You just go for it, for the joy of adventure. So these 4 archetypes, they hold the keys to unlocking your true destiny and getting you ready for 2026. It doesn't matter if 2026 is 5 weeks away. I am already living and seeing this energy of this new year. And if 2025 was the year of deep letting go, all of us, and I really mean it, all of us have been through it this year in our own unique way. Whether it was a surrender of identity or surrender of a relationship, long-term relationship, whether it was a loss, financial loss, health loss, whether it was a disillusion of the dream, we all were brought down to the ground, to the level of the snake, right? So we could put our belly to the ground and actually feel the pulse of the earth, how the earth is moving. And, there is this beauty of humility that this year brought to us. And those of us who were trusting our intuition, trusting that, the old way of doing business, the old way of creating, the old way of manifesting simply don't work. They don't have the capacity to hold the new creativity, the new vision, the new codes that are coming through. So we get to let go of the old and begin to listen. What does the new look like? What does the new feel like? What does the new is moving me forward? Because there is always new. And this is something, I'm a passionate lover of ancient Egyptian wisdom, because this is the path of initiation of the soul. And one of my favorite things from that lineage is that ancient Egyptians never thought of themselves as human beings. They thought of themselves as human becomings. So every day when they would meet a neighbor, the greeting would be, "Hey, who have you become today?" And they would sit down and probably share their Turkish coffee or Egyptian coffee, whatever they would be drinking. And they would say, "Tell me about your becoming. Tell me, who have you become today?" And isn't that a profound, beautiful greeting? I invite you to play with that. Next time you go on a tea date, coffee date, or just Zoom date, Instead of boring how are you, predictable how are you, ask the person, who are you becoming? Who are you now? Who are you becoming? What is unfolding through you? Because I promise you, that kind of a conversation will open beautiful depths, beautiful, beautiful depths. All right, darlings, anybody has a question or a comment? Those of you who are live with me tomorrow, I am teaching frequency shift teachers training. I am in the teachers training right now. It's such a beautiful program that I just love it. I can't get enough of it. We're learning how to work with energy on a daily basis. And then on Wednesday, I'm teaching the joy of channeling, which is, I didn't even realize I was gonna do it. And this is a very guided creation that I received the first time in the spring of this year, or summer this year. And it became very, very persistent. Bring me through, bring me through, bring me through. So if you want to attend that, and those of you who already sign up, great. I will see you on Wednesday. And I just wanted to share this message with you. How can we prepare for 2026? It's going to go even faster than year 2025. So we will need to double down on our ability to stay grounded and not to spin mentally, because you may be presented with way too many opportunities all at once. And that sometimes can be disorienting, right? It could be like, oh, which one is right for me? Which opportunity is right for me? Where do I go? So, oh yeah, Tracy says, that was a powerful channel, Katarina. Thanks, Tracy. So appreciate you. Yeah, and the sound was good. You know, I'm doing this on the iPad because sounds tends to be the best on this device. And as always, if you found value in this live stream, please reshare it. There is a button on Instagram that you can reshare it. And please tag people along. And I will be sharing some incredible things that I'm opening for the year 2026. So stay tuned. I am currently also accepting new personal clients. If you would like to become a personal client, you can private message me for options available. And I actually am making something special where I'm giving away a huge discount. I'm probably going to announce it tomorrow or Wednesday. So stay tuned. I love working with people one-on-one. If you are a dynamic, big personality who is very selective who you work with, well, then we are aligned, because I am very selective who I work with one-on-one. I love working with people who have global vision. You are here to bring your gifts into the world in a deep, meaningful way. I'm not going to even say in a big way, because how can we measure that? But if you know you're here to bring your gifts in a deep, meaningful way, and you're here to thrive doing what you love, thrive in your destiny, would love to speak to you. I also have a really big, vast online course library. Every new moon, I offer this incredible discounts that is only available for my email list community. This is something that I'm doing only for my email list community. So if you wanted to be a part of my email list, DM me or just look at my links in bio. My new thing, every new moon, I will feature one course. I'll introduce it at a very generous discount. And what else, darlings? I love you, and I love life. I love that we're all in this together. I love that we're all sensing that the old is no longer works. And I love that we're all trusting the new. We're all opening our hearts to each other, to our communities, to Mother Gaia. And, you know, we're moving forward one day at a time. Doesn't it feel like that? You just have enough knowing for one day at a time. And you continue to share your soul, continue to share your vibration, continue to share your light, simply because you cannot not do that. It brings you joy. It brings you fulfillment, and it's a part of your sacred service. Is it not? Yes, it is. So may you have a blessed day. May this week you are in flow. May you remember these 4 archetypes. I will go live tomorrow to talk about an archetype of a teacher, which is also has a shadow aspect, shadow and a light aspect. And I will tell you about my favorite teachers who completely transformed my life, and why it's so important to honor your teachers. Send them blessings, send them support, financial support, join their courses, right? Really support your teachers. Don't assume that all of your teachers, don't need your support. They appreciate it more than you know. And as I shared, I love my elders. I also study with my peers, people of my own age, of course. But I especially have the heart for the elders. There's something, it's always been my passion to support the elders. And one of the books that an elder wrote is, Michael Bright wrote a book called The Origin of Divine Feminine. I'm going to do a whole other video on that. But I wanted to share with you because, he spent 13 years dedicated to the research of that book. And when the challenge with modern publishing is that if you publish it on Amazon, Amazon gives you ease of print on demand. So Amazon will print a book, 1 book at a time when you order it, right? Thank you, darling. Yes, but Amazon takes pretty much everything from a book sale. So when you see writers publish their books on Amazon, I just want you to know what really happens. A writer will get $1, usually just $1. So it's not a profit thing, it's a contribution. And I am trailblazing there is a new publishing way that we can publish books and also make a living from our books. There's new platforms that are becoming available that I am excited to share with you, because I was deeply dissatisfied with what's happening on Amazon. I am grateful for the convenience of it. I publish my own book on Amazon. You can find it. But I want you to know that my print book is $15, right? I get 99 cents. And it's very discouraging as a writer. You pour your heart into the process and you get 99 cents. So I am trailblazing new approach and new ways, and I will keep you informed, darlings. But the reason I'm sharing all of this with you is sometimes you create because your true creation is because you have to create. Like a musician who publishes a song, the same thing. It's not that easy to monetize a song, but the song must be born, or the book must be born, or the course must be born, or a ritual must be born. And that's your visionary archetype that says, I am not gonna stop until I'm gonna find the way, right? So it's the visionary that says, hey, this way of offering my gifts is ineffective. Your visionary archetype say, I'm gonna find the way. If I'm not gonna find the way, I'm gonna make the way, right? So yeah, it's really, and your visionary archetype, when you unlock that, I can't wait to share with you a transmission on the visionary archetype. When you unlock that, you become everything you touch turns to gold, because you are able to activate this ability not only to receive idea, but to also know which framework, which model, which structure can carry your idea forward, right? And then everything you create turns into gold, because you know which idea to match with which structure, how to promote it, how to speak about it. It's just an area of magic, right? So stay tuned. I will see you tomorrow, where we'll talk about archetype of a teacher. Let me know in the comments, everybody who is watching a replay, what resonated with you, what felt validating, what felt encouraging, what are you excited to implement. And please follow this account. I will be doing more live streams here. Thank you for the opportunity to connect with you. Thank you, Tracy, for your comments. Yes, exactly. Yes, and that's why I'm sharing, Tracy. Tracy says, "Oh, I didn't know this about Amazon. It's convenient, but authors need to be validated for their soul work." Exactly. So we're gonna find a new way and gonna take our books away from Amazon, unless you have a different publisher who publishes your books on demand and then sells it through Amazon, right? But if you print on demand with Amazon, you only get 99 cents. Pretty crazy. Thank you so much. I'm sending you a big warm hug from my heart. Be blessed, and I will see you tomorrow on the next live stream.